everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to have a little bit of fun. I just received my package from Victoria Beckham. She launched 3 new fragrances and I was having such a hard time picking just one that I went ahead and I purchased all 3 of the fragrances so we could have a little fun sniffing our way through this new launch. I had so many people texting me and DMing me asking me which one I thought they should get, which is always a little hard. I never want to steer anybody the wrong way, and honestly all 3 fragrances sounded very intriguing to me, so I thought let me go ahead, I will pick up all 3. So today we are going to be unboxing these beauties as well as giving you first impressions, some information on each fragrance. I'm hoping this is going to help some of you pick which fragrance that you are wanting to pick up. I know that it is hard to buy fragrances blind. I do it all the time, so I'm happy to be the guinea pig for you with this launch. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Victoria Beckham fragrances, again, we've got Portofino 97, we have San Ysidro Drive, so excited, and then we have Sweet 302. We are going to unbox them, we are going to sniff each one of them, and just have a little bit of fun with this new launch from Victoria Beckham. Okay, I am super excited about this launch. I'm a huge fan of Victoria Beckham Beauty, but I also am a huge fan of the master perfumer who created these fragrances in collaboration with Victoria Beckham. That is Jerome Epinette, and he is known for his work with Byredo, Atelier Cologne, Frappin, and Olfactive Studio. I love all of those brands, so I sort of felt confident in reading the notes, knowing who the perfumer was, and also I literally love so much of Victoria Beckham Beauty that I kind of figured she wasn't going to launch anything that was going to be So we shall see. You never know. Today you're just going to be getting my true first impressions. And the first one that we are going to be smelling is Portofino 97. And let me just open up the boxes for you. Oh, I absolutely love the design of the bottle. Let me give you a look. I ended up picking up the 50 ml size. They also come in 100 mils, but since I was going to pick up all 3 fragrances, I thought it best to get the smaller size, as well as the fact that I have a lot of perfume. So the 50 ml is $200. For the 100 ml, it is $290. It is usually more prudent to buy the bigger sizes because you're going to be getting more product. But again, for myself who does perfume reviews and such, I have a lot of perfume to go through. So this is going to be the perfect size for myself. And I absolutely love the packaging. It is like a beautiful, slender flask, very nice and weighty. Love this turquoise color, just very classic like all of her other packaging. And inside the box it describes the fragrance and it says, a new infatuation, a secret escape, the seductive scent of desire. Victoria Beckham evokes the enrapturing fragrance of burgeoning romance through the memory of Portofino 97. This scent is supposed to be a little throwback to her romance with David Beckham back when she was a Spice Girl. She says that when David and her first met, He was a soccer star, she was a Spice Girl, and they were trying to keep their romance under wraps, and they took a little trip to Portofino. And with that trip, she remembers the beautiful light. She remembered how the hotel smelled and just how exciting of a time it was. And it felt like it was just yesterday. So I'm so excited to smell this one. This was the one that I felt like would be the safest buy when I was reading the notes. And speaking of the notes are a euphoric hit of Calabrian bergamot and black pepper, crisp white sheets, suffused with incense and amber, patchouli and vetiver, lingering on the skin of a significant other. So just by that description, I thought this would be kind of a safe buy, because in general, when it is talking about a second skin fragrance, that is going to be a little bit lighter. The notes of bergamot, as well as the description of clean, crisp white sheets, just felt sort of like a no-brainer. So at first I was just going to pick up this one, and okay. And this is actually even better than I imagined, because although I like those clean, fresh fragrances, this one has some oomph to it. I'm smelling some of the vetiver in here, which I really like. This definitely like a invigorating open, but it is not like your typical freshie. I'm smelling that fresh patchouli. Oftentimes when I'm describing the note of patchouli, I find that it can either have sort of that earthy, dank kind of note to it, or it can lean into this kind of fresh note. And sometimes there's patchouli in fragrances that people think they hate patchouli, but it is actually in their favorite fragrances, and it can kind of be very uplifting and a bit fresh. And that's what I would say. This one definitely is going to give you that fresh, crisp, clean feel, but it is not anything like a cleaning product. It isn't anything that feels like overly fresh, because in the base I am getting some of that amber, which is going to be warmer. Also smelling a little bit of that incense, so this one is just really beautifully balanced. And honestly, this is like my kind of freshie. I do enjoy freshies, but if they lean too much into that cleaning product or fresh laundry, sometimes I don't exactly want to smell like that. I do want to smell fresh. I want that kind of invigorating feeling, but this one has some warmth to it. I just am really enjoying this as well. Has some nice depth to it that's sort of grounding the fragrance. It also has a little bit of black pepper in here. I'm trying to see, it's got a little bit of that incense and black pepper. Oof, this is really beautiful. I want to go ahead and try these on my skin, and then we can come back to the fragrances. This is kind of once they have settled on the skin. But so far I feel like she has captured what she has described with this fragrance. When you see the kind of light blue teal, you're thinking of Portofino, like on the Mediterranean. I feel like you can smell almost a little bit of this ocean. Like I feel like there's like almost a little bit of saltiness here. I think there is some brightness in this fragrance as well. But I think what I'm liking about it is this has a little bit of sexiness to it, because it is kind of reminding her of a special time in a hotel room with somebody special, and that their skin smells amazing. So that amber and patchouli and vetiver is in here. That definitely makes this not necessarily like a typical freshie. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. A really beautiful, easy wear is what I would say, but it has some depth to it. Okay. Okay, you guys are truly getting my first impressions, and I literally had to kind of stop and text a friend who wants to know which one to buy. And I've already told her, like, okay, first one, True Love. I really like this one. It's a little bit addictive. Like, I'm already wanting to smell myself again. This does not seem like it's going to be a huge projector. Just like it said, it's going to be a little bit more of an intimate fragrance. I'm definitely smelling it though. So we'll go on. We'll move on from here. Okay, next fragrance is Sweet 302. And let's open up this one. Ooh, this one is the ivory or blanc colored bottle here. Honestly, the packaging is so gorgeous. Again, really beautiful, simplistic, classy. So excited. And again, inside of the beautiful box is a description of the fragrance. Okay, Sweet 302 is an alluring rendezvous, an entrancing escapade, the intoxicating parfum of glamour. Victoria Beckham conjures the sumptuous spirit of whirlwind weekends in Paris. In memory of Sweet 302, an erotic melange of black cherry and red peppercorns, clouded in rose centifolia, midnight violet, and narcotic musk. Plush velvets saturated with papyrus, black leather, and masculine tobacco leaf. So I was very intrigued by the description of this fragrance because it sounded like it would be perfect for kind of fall weather. Let's go ahead and spray this out. So this one is definitely conjuring up like a very luxe hotel room. I definitely smell that tobacco, and the leather to me in this smells like a really kind of plush leather chair. It's almost as if we're in some really awesome bar, but like old school with lots of oak and plush leather chairs and people who have smoked cigars in this like bar. I'm definitely smelling like the texture of plushy velvet. It also does conjure up sort of like a darker room with definitely some dimmed lights in here. I am not smelling the black cherry super pronounced. And so that was one that I was intrigued by, kind of that rose and black cherry scent. This one is definitely more midnight, dark, kind of chic, Parisian scent. That's what I would say. To me, when I was reading the notes, I was worried that this was going to be like super dense. And there is something in here that is making it a little bit more aromatic, if that makes sense. So when you hear notes of like that rose and that black cherry and tobacco, you might think of it as sort of a dense, heavy kind of fragrance. And so far on paper, I'm not really feeling like it is super dense or heavy. It's got this sexiness to it, and I definitely need to put it on my skin, but I think I was expecting this to be like a little bit like super rich and dense where I would not have blind bought this. And this one is just a little bit more aromatic. I'm actually thinking it might be that papyrus note. I definitely am smelling tobacco. So if you are a tobacco lover, you also like the idea of kind of light mix of the rose and the black cherry. Those are definitely not super like dominant in here. So for those of you who do not like rosy fragrances, or maybe you don't like fruity rosy fragrances, I think you would be very pleasantly surprised by this one. I'm thinking of Mandy Davis. She doesn't really like rosy fragrances, and I would definitely think she might like this one. So if you're in her camp and you're not really somebody who enjoys those kind of rose fragrances, you are safe with this Sweet 302. Okay, so this fragrance is going to be more sensual, more alluring, I would say, definitely sexy. And then, so I just read a little cute note about the color of this bottle, which again, I think is just gorgeous. And it says that this embodies intoxicating glamour, a deep and confident love wrapped up in the sumptuous memory of Victoria and David's whirlwind anniversary trips to Paris. The bottle itself is reminiscent of the little white Roberto Cavalli dress that Victoria wore for her surprise vow renewal with David. So I thought that was super cute. So to me, this is very chic, very Parisian. I want to go ahead and put this on my skin because I always like to see how things develop on the skin when you're doing a fragrance. So far, one on here, one on the other side. Interesting. So one thing I'm going to tell you is on my skin and not the blotter, I am smelling a little bit more of that rose and black cherry. It's really good, you guys. On skin, this is sort of coming alive. So I think it kind of needed to warm up on the skin. On the blotter, I was smelling more of the tobacco in here. I'm definitely starting to get that rose, a little bit of that black cherry. Again, if that's a note that you're scared of, this is super well blended. I wouldn't say like, black cherry in your face. It's not sickening or anything like that. If anything, it's going to be just kind of melded together with the roses. It is not like standing out at all. And now that it is on my skin, I would tell you that I feel like within this hotel that has this beautiful, really nice bar with the plush leather chairs and the beautiful woodwork in here. And I feel like people are drinking like really fancy scotch or liquor of some sort. But again, on the high end side, I'm also getting the picture of some like really gorgeous, deep, dark roses at their peak so that you can actually smell that kind of rich rose here. And this one is going to be perfect for my friend Stephanie, who was already gravitating towards this. She does not like super feminine fragrances. She lives like on a ranch in Wyoming. She's like a tough chick. I just love her. But when I know her kind of fragrances that she enjoys, she is going to like this because it is going to lean a little bit more into that masculine zone. It is not going to be super floral for her, and it's literally going to be very sexy, very sensual, and it's really quite glamorous as well. Okay, we're going to move on, but as this is drying down, I am definitely smelling the tobacco, and this tobacco has a bit of sweetness to it. This is not any sort of cigarette kind of tobacco at all. This one is on the kind of like sweet, like someone who is going to be smoking a pipe. There's that sweet tobacco that sort of envelops the room. And again, I'm definitely smelling that plush leather, velvet curtains, very sexy, and it doesn't smell like scotch or anything, but I am seeing like a beautiful crystal goblet of someone drinking something really like old school, like some fancy, million years old kind of scotch or something like that. So Definitely a sexy fragrance there. Okay, let's move on to San Ysidro Drive. Open this up. Oh, we see this beautiful bright yellow color here. So pretty here. I can't wait to try this one as well. Just again, love the bottles. Super excited about these fragrances. And again, within the box here, it gives us a little description. Okay, let me read you the description here. This one says, a burst of energy, a new beginning, the healing power of perfume. Victoria Beckham captures the mending and motivating spirit of mindfulness in the memory of San Ysidro Drive, an intense rush of passion fruit and pink peony, vitalizing ocean air, infused with rich rose absolute, saffron flower and agar wood, black amber and vanilla, incensing the atmosphere of a personal sanctuary. Okay, let's go ahead, spray this first on the blotter. Okay, immediately I am enjoying this one right off the bat. I want to read a little bit more about the story behind this one. Okay, this is Victoria Beckham's take on a rose oud combo. It's like she threw in a little bit of this passion fruit in here, some peony. It's a little bit fruity. I'm actually really enjoying this one. So this fragrance is capturing when she and her family moved to Los Angeles. I was going to say this has some LA vibes to it for sure. This marks the beginning of a transformative awakening. San Ysidro Drive captures the mindful and meditative memory of her time in California. There's heady florals mingled with the salty ocean air wafting through open windows as she drives down the Pacific Coast Highway. The comfort of black amber and vanilla lend to a grounding feeling of home. So basically, this is her take of LA in a bottle. I'm really loving this, but I love LA, have lived there twice. My daughter lives there. I will always have fond memories of LA. And honestly, this does capture that. I definitely am smelling like this rich, heady florals in here. I would say this is definitely the brightest, more feminine of the fragrances here. As this is drying down on the blotter, I'm definitely getting that rose oud combo. So for all of you that love those kind of rose oud fragrances, I think you're gonna like this one. This one has a little punchy note with that passion fruit. I love fragrances with peony in it. That's like my favorite flower. I always find them to be kind of soft and fluffy, and I find that it adds a little bit of that element into this fragrance. So I want to try this one on my skin because I'm already liking this one on the blotter. And as you guys know, I also love fragrances with a bit of amber and vanilla in here. So that's the other thing that I'm enjoying, is that this one is like bright and energizing on the outside, but in the inside, I would say this has that kind of rich rose oud combo. The dry down has that warmth of the amber and vanilla. So those are very grounding notes as she described. But that passion fruit's giving it a little bit of a punchiness in here. I feel like the peony is sort of making it very smooth, kind of a nice smooth fragrance here. And I do pick up that little bit of salt air in this one as well. As this is drying down on my skin, it is turning into just this really gorgeous rose oud combo. It is not too dense, it is not too rich, but it is also not too light or too floaty. So that is what I would say with all three of these fragrances, is that they've got some depth to all three of them. So far, I'm secretly relieved because I bought all three fragrances. This could have been a disaster. But I can truly tell you, you would know if I didn't like any of these fragrances. I promise I would tell you. I purchased these myself, so I would honestly tell you if there was any of these that I was like, ugh, these are terrible. But luckily for me, I really like all three of these fragrances. I want to go through and smell them on the skin again, and then I will tell you like my favorite ones. Okay. So smelling Portofino 97, have let this dry down. I'm really enjoying this one. I feel like this one would be the safest buy, but what I'm liking about this is it's got a little density to this. This is not just like a here's your fresh option for those that like freshies. This one has some density to it. It's got a little sexiness to it as well. But again, it's just a little bit into that intimate, fresh, clean sheets, but there is some definite sexiness in here. And I am smelling like a little bit something salty in it that I'm liking though. Like it's making me kind of want to smell myself a little bit more. So I definitely feel like I'm getting some of that salty air coming up off the ocean. I like this because I feel like there's enough oomph in it that you could dress it up or dress it down. This is not just like your casual one. There's definitely a little bit of sexiness in here. And I really love this one. As far as the Sweet 302. Okay, Sweet 302. This one is definitely more unisex, leaning slightly masculine. Okay, Sweet 302 is definitely going to be for my tobacco lovers. I feel like you guys are going to go gaga for this one. This one is definitely sensual. I keep on thinking of my friend Stephanie, but I just think of her as being this really cool chick. She's going to be wearing a leather jacket. She may be partaking of some scotch at the bar. Definitely seeing this one for all my cool cat friends. As far as myself, I would totally wear this, but it's going to be one that I want to be in the mood for. Leather and tobacco are not always the best notes on my skin or chemistry. I went through a big tobacco stage when I was getting into perfume and I was just obsessed with it. It was almost like I overdid it with the tobacco perfumes because I do enjoy them, but they are not what I'm currently like into at the moment. I could totally see myself wearing this, especially on like a cold winter day, or if I'm going to be going on a sexy date night with my husband. I don't know if I ever really do that, but you get the gist. Let's just say something like that. I would definitely put this on, and I do love the story behind here. I would say this is chic. I would say definitely has Parisian notes to it, but I am like channeling my tough girl Stephanie in this one, and I think she's going to absolutely love this. So on myself, I'm not quite getting enough of that rose and black cherry. It's kind of drying down more to a leathery tobacco on me. It's very warm and comforting, but this one is not my most favorite between all three of them. And then let's go ahead and smell San Ysidro Drive. So this one is putting a huge smile on my face. LA in a bottle. This one smells so good, but I am somebody who loves a rose oud combo. I also love that little bit of fruitiness in here. This one smells like sunshine to me, kind of warming on the skin. This one is still adult. This is not like a young fruity fragrance or anything like that. This one just smells a little bit fun, a little bit flirty. If this one feels like the most like me, I would say. I don't always gravitate towards total freshies, but I absolutely love this one because it's got some depth. And then I absolutely love San Ysidro Drive. So what I would tell you between these two, if you are somebody who enjoys a rose oud combo, definitely pick up this one. If you are somebody who likes the idea of more of an intimate skin scent, but with some depth, as what I would say is you're still going to have some projection here. So far, that's what I'm going to say. There's something very addictive between these two. So that was my initial gut, was that I would like both of these. And then I was like, I got to pick up the third one because you guys might want to know about it. But again, just in general, I'm somebody who really enjoys more feminine leaning fragrances that are going to put a smile on my face, that are going to make me feel pretty and frivolous and fun, but with a little bit of sexiness as well. All fragrance can do that. But I absolutely love both of these ones. And I'm so excited that my gut instinct was that I was going to enjoy these fragrances from Victoria Beckham, and I certainly do. So those are my first impressions. What I will do is I am going to wear these this coming week and kind of let you know how they wear, how they kind of like the longevity and such. I just picked these up and I wanted to kind of share my actual excitement of getting this package and sharing my true first impressions with you. So as usual, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you picked any of these up, what your thoughts are so far on these fragrances, and I hope everybody smells amazing, that you're having a great week, and I will be back with another video soon.